Alright, well, here we go on a completely new day. Getting this old bearing out was quite the process. The small slide hammer did not do the job, and I ended up knocking all the rollers out of this thing, and I ended up having to go up to O'Reilly's CarQuest, where they will rent you the tool, the slide hammer kit, $120. When you get done, bring it back intact, and they give you your money back. Well, that's a hell of a deal. So fortunately they had it up there, and that's what it took. It's got little attachments that go inside and then open up and get behind the bearing, but still they didn't fit right. One was too small, one was too big, and I was afraid I wouldn't ever get it out, but I finally did. So you can see the difference. Here's the new one, this RP 5707 Precision, whereas this one goes in and butts against the flange on the inside, and the bearings are there. This one evidently goes in. This O-ring seals the surface where this one used to sit, like that, and then the bearing is moved back this way, so the bearing is running on a whole different surface of the axle. So I've had this in the freezer all night, so hopefully that'll help, because it still looks like it's going to be a tight fit. So I got to figure out how I'm going to hammer it in there. I'm going to put a little grease around it. Grease this O-ring up. I think I'll just put a little thin coating of grease on this thing. Just, I think I'm going to need it. So I'm sure this is going to be a chore to get in there. Alright, so it goes in like so. That's the beginning of it, I guess. Oops, I guess the alarm's on Diana D's car. We better take care of that. Everything has to be right. This is a special car for a special lady, Camaro girl. This is the last year of the 4th generation, 02. It's the 50th anniversary. Okay, let's take care of that. Yep. Alright, I got this socket. Not the first time this has been used for stuff like this. It happens to fit right on there. So maybe I can get it on there and give it a couple of good whacks. I guess the alarm's still working on this.
Is it locked?
But I'll tell you what, every swing is something else on this.
Well.
Alright, I've done a test fit with the axle, and Pull it out here. It's a nice, you can feel that seal against it. Nice and tight. The inner and the outer seals. You can feel it snugging on this all the way. So I pushed it in there to make sure that it's going all the way in so I can get the C-clip on the inside. And this is what we have. See, it sticks out this far. So I wanted to make sure that that's okay. The seal now rides on the edge right close to the axle, and the bearing now rides right next to it in this part here of the axle that is virgin metal. So that's the idea behind that. Okay, we're back at our differential now. Here is a shot of our axle is pushed in. There's the groove that the C-clip goes in right there. So I need to fumble that in there and then push the axle back so that it recesses back into its recessed groove, and then we'll have it. So this is not a posi, so it's a little easier to get up in there. So I'm putting I got it. Okay, I got it up in there. Well, it was a little difficult to push because it's tight on that seal on the other end. So there it is, in place. Those things will push in just far enough for the pin to go through. So we need to realign everything and bring this down so we can get the pin in. Let's see here. Okay, I'm turning the gears back to line them up so the pin can go through. Here's the pin. So it's hitting up against the axles right now. Now let's back this way and see what we got here. Oh, the other axle's sticking out a little bit. We got to push it in. Alright, what do we got to do here? I went and pushed on the tire on the other side there. Alright, let's see here now what it'll do. I'm going to pull back on the new axle too. Okay. Now let's see what we have here. First we got to... Okay, there, we got it through. Alright, we align this hole. There we go. We got it started. Alright, I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to clean these threads up. I'm going to put a little bit of sealer on them. A little bit of thread lock. Diana just came back with the brakes and some thread locker. So I'm going to go ahead. I've cleaned off my threads with brake clean. I'll clip this off here. And I'm going to get them on. And she brought back Subway sandwiches, so it'll be time for lunch. Medium strength blue is what I'm putting on. Should be the right stuff. That way you can get this thing apart again someday. Okay, so there we have it right there on the threads. Let's get it started. Get it in there. Tighten that down and then we'll go have lunch. I put the tranny back in gear so we can apply some torque to this thing and torque it down, you know, nice and hand tight with the wrench. It's going in there nice and firm. That's what we want. Well, sometimes you can round these off and you got yourself a big problem. Had that happen on the rear end once out of another Camaro. that. That's it. What that did was it kind of did in this little wrench. Yeah. I wanted to get this in here before I stopped. Okay, here we are. Like I say, this job is stretched into Monday. So we're trying to finish it up in between appointments. So, as you saw, I got the axle back in, the hook back up, and I went and washed out this differential cover. Just a little bit left right here. Cleaned off the gasket off the rear end housing. Got it ready to go. And just used a pocket knife to do that part. And then Diana came back with the brakes. Here's the little magnet. I'm getting all the extra metal particles off of that. Okay. So there's that. I'm getting ready to put that on. Got the new gasket. And this is what it took to get that bearing out of there. Right over there from O'Reilly's CarQuest. I'll bring that back and get my $119 back, unless I want to own it. But yeah, they loan these things to us, loaners. They give all our money back when we bring it back if it's intact. So that worked out. Saved the day. Did the brakes. Got the new ceramic calipers we got from over there. And just to take these calipers off and repress the piston back. And I'll just say that I just used these big huge channel locks here. And open them up all the way, and I can get in there and I can gradually push the piston back. And then also we push it back right in here. We make this floats right in this section, so we get that broke loose so it moves easily. Load the new pads in, stick it back on. You got it. So I've done that. And the brake reservoir was a little low from the wear, so all I did was I didn't crack a breather screw loose or anything. I just gently pushed the pistons back in, and that makes the brake master cylinder fluid level. Okay, all the bolts are tightened up, all the little brackets are back in place. Little tiny shield thing that fits across the top is on there. Now we're going to get right over in here and get this thing out and start squeezing those bottles of synthetic gear lube into it. Takes a while. You just lay down here and you smash the bottle and fill that thing up. Takes about 1.5 quarts. Alrighty, she's back together. And I had her hit the brakes for the first time. When I dropped the car down in the front, I put it on top of those boards right there. Put a board 2x4 underneath each tire. Makes it easier to get the jack out from underneath on these cars. They sit so low. Anyway, she's working the brakes now. Pedal. Drive around the block. Let's see what you got. How many lights you got flashing in there? Just security light, huh? All the brake lights on?
That's always been on. Well,
Oh, you got... Okay. All right, good. Ah, the brake light is not on. We always like to see that. I did not bleed anything when I did this job. That bears... Yeah, all the fluid pushed back up into the master cylinder, so I didn't add any fluid, any of that. Now that she drives away, I remember I didn't have the lid screwed down tight on that, I don't think. Oh boy. Alright, well. Yeah, so anyway. Driveway repair. Rear wheel bearing and brakes. You got any comments? Throw them out there. You got some tips on getting those bearings in and out of those things? Write a comment below. If you want to subscribe or like, just go ahead and click on it. And thank you very much.